Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we kind of like our videos on travel bubbles maybe a little bit, but I was reading a recent article from the Tiger, that's spelled THAIGER.com. Article is titled, "Can We Say Good Riddance to the Thailand Pass on July 1?" Good article, a lot in there. Urge folks who are watching this to go check that out. But this little excerpt I thought was pretty funny. Whilst the rest of the world has established new travel lanes and travel bubbles, Thailand remains in a time bubble, stuck in mid-2021 in a pre-Omicron world of curfews, restrictions, and incoming travelers treated like extras in the Andromeda Strain, a 1971 sci-fi B-grade movie about a viral pandemic. And yeah, I think that's spot on. I think that's pretty spot on analysis there. Yeah, it really does beg the question why we're continuing with this. I mean, at this point, I have a hard time not calling certain aspects of this kabuki, especially where, you know, there are certain things going on that have been just proven outright to not be particularly effective. You know, other things have come up, and we've done another video contemporaneously with this one, where massive amounts of the data are being sort of recollated, and we're finding, you know, a decrease in numbers that were supposedly shocking, and then, you know, now that they've been revised, maybe it wasn't such a big deal. So, look, I've said from some time ago, and I'll be the first one to admit, when all this first went down, you know, I was concerned, and I thought Thailand took a number of measures that were far more prudent, I think, than counterpart countries around the world. But, you know, we're 2 years out, literally 2 years ago now. You know, this all began March 2020 with respect to all these protocols, the emergency decree promulgation. We've spent 2 years in, you know, being treated, to quote again, treated like extras in the Andromeda Strain. You know, and for what? I mean, what has it honestly gotten us? And I think any data-driven analysis of the outcomes of a lot of these protocols, I just don't see, you know, I don't see where there's been a great benefit. You know, and I've discussed that at length. But long story short, especially economically, I think Thailand really, really needs to make some serious changes. We've made other videos contemporaneously with this one where we're comparing the entry protocols in other countries, and those will be forthcoming, you know, as time moves through this week, as we move through this week. But, you know, Thailand, and credit where credit is due, Thailand opened and had tourist, you know, you could get into Thailand when you couldn't get into a lot of countries here in Southeast Asia. I got to give Thailand credit for that. I got to give the government, policymakers credit for that. And they did it in such a way that it, you know, it didn't have a dramatic impact one way or the other negatively on the country. So I got to give credit where credit's due on that. To date, Thailand has been one of the more accessible countries in Southeast Asia. That is quickly changing now here in March 2020, as we'll get to later. But other countries are not having the issues with reentry protocols that Thailand currently is. And, you know, as a Thai, I find it concerning that, you know, tourism is a major sector of the economy. Now, yes, we're going into quote-unquote low season, but that said, you know, generally speaking, Songkran provides a bit of a spike in terms of tourism numbers, and even May, some of the holidays associated with that, although it's probably more associated with folks that are related to Thais or Thais coming in from abroad to visit family and things. But even still, you know, as many foreign arrivals as we can get back here in Thailand and keep this economy rolling along, the better, as far as I'm concerned. So let's get out of the time bubble and start looking at getting Thailand reopened, you know, rather than being treated like extras in the Andromeda Strain.